Hi, my name is Ron Shazan, and a couple facts about me before I start my first YouTube video. 20 years old. I'm going to college. Currently, in Florida. Going to college for veterinarian science. I love animals. I love learning about behaviors. I love anatomy and physiology. I took it in high school, and I was also accepted in the veterinarian program in high school, where we had like livestock on the campus, cows, stuff like that. We could like feed them, learn more about them, and stuff like that. I like to read something from the Bible before I start. John 8:32, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So, starting our video, I have a slide right here that I'll be reading, so if I'm looking all over the place, that's what I'm looking at. The slide, how to pick your first dog. So, generally, which breeds? Some I have listed here that are really good that I've gotten a chance to work with are golden retrievers, Labrador retrievers, boxer, poodle, Pomeranian, and beagles. And I'll be getting more into those breeds on why they're good. First thing I want to go over on the slide presentation that I have is temperament. Temperament is very important. You want to know what temperament your dog has. You want to know if that dog is submissive by nature, docile by nature, especially if you have children. An example that I've wrote on my presentation is golden retrievers. They're known for being good-natured, easygoing, and patient. Humans have bred retrievers to be loyal, easygoing, and to look for human approval. Dogs that look for human approval could be, you can train your dog how to sit, or you could train your dog how to roll over, and just that will make their day because that's what they feed off of. That's something that they love. That is something that they were bred to do. So it's like they're fulfilled. That's why a lot of police dogs and stuff, they take their job serious because they've been trained to do that. Dogs that are bred for human approval tend to seek that out because it's their purpose and it makes them feel good. It's because their emotions are tied to it. A lot of dogs will get mad or they'll get frustrated if they can't do the assignment. That's why when we train dogs, we usually we usually take a break, especially for puppies. Puppies are they're like children. Children usually don't love to be pushed to a certain extent. Puppies, working with puppies, you want to take a little break. You want to kind of put some enrichment in it. You want to give them toys. Even when I'm teaching puppies to sit, or when I taught my dog, Rose, which is a chow chow, how to sit, I physically put him in a sitting position, not aggressively, but just kind of, helping him out. Kind of like a child, you want to guide their hand to what you're trying to do. And children, they won't take offense by that. They'll know that you're trying to better, guide them. Another breed, poodles. Amazing dogs, very intelligent. They're also cool. I've seen a lot of them at the shows, the AKC shows. Amazing. It's really cool when people can style up their dogs without having to put all the coloring in them. But even just styling them, like shaving off different parts and styling, and it's really amazing. A high level of respect for those people that really put in the designs, without having to tamper with their fur, putting, just harmful material, but making it fun for the dog as well. That's another reason why a lot of dogs do dog shows and very successful, is because they want that approval. It makes them feel very good. It's not so much the obstacles, it's more of when they're getting pet, when they're getting treats. It's kind of like a child when they get their first A on a test and they come in the car and they're happy, a lot of that is because their parents are happy. It's like they want that fulfillment of their mom and dad being happy. You know, if I came in the car and I made an A on the test and my mom and dad were like, okay, cool, I'd be like, whoa, like I thought I was gonna get more praise than that, like, you know. Um, okay, I'm reading. Poodles are also very intelligent. Just going back on that. Another thing is that they're very good around children. That is something that is very crucial when getting a dog, especially for families of 2, 3, however big the family is. If you're having children, if you're a couple, I would recommend poodles. They're very good. They have standard, toy, and miniature. They have like different, different ones. They're good with children. Going back to that, newborn children, which is really good because you want something that's docile by nature and not all, like you don't want nothing that's too aggressive, My next slide that I have is, how do dogs see humans? A lot of people think that dogs see us as like alpha and stuff like that. That's been proven. It's getting proven day by day. It's getting like debunked. Dogs really don't see us as like that much of like a wolf's hierarchy is very, very complicated. Dogs' hierarchies aren't that complicated. Their hierarchies consist of motivation, learning, difference, and human relationships instead of like alpha, like wolves. And dogs will also see us. Dogs will usually see us as like a family, or as a pack. Even wolves that have been domesticated, when they grow up, if you've seen the videos, I recommend you looking at them. They're very fascinating of people actually raising wolves. It's just amazing. Like, it's just amazing how like they see us as like their pack. They know the difference is there. Like, we walk on 2 and they walk on 4. They know the difference, but they still treat us like that because we've imprinted them. Like, that bond between a baby and a pup and a human is a very strong one. It's kind of like that saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's kind of like that, but on a more of a, some dogs genuinely love us. They don't care about the food. Of course they care about the food, but they yearn for that attention that motivates them, that makes them fulfilled. I'll be going over things to not really do with your dog. Feeding human food is a big no-no for me. Sometimes I'll feed them like chicken, or I will have eggs. Raw eggs are very good for dogs. It's also very good for their coat. I have a chow, and his coat, amazing. He's black, a black coated chow, amazing. His fur is even like silky sometimes, just amazing. Very beautiful dog. I would recommend raw eggs, not like a lot, just 1 or even 1, like 1.5 for the smaller dogs. They love it. Like, you want to spice up their food a little bit because dogs, my dog is very excited when he sees me get the carton of eggs out. He's very excited. He starts jumping up for joy. It's also a very cool experience seeing him jump and, see him get excited for it because it makes me happy that I'm doing something good for him. So that's another thing. No, I would not feed him. Some things that are very toxic to dogs, grapes. I wouldn't give any like garlic. Don't give them garlic anything. It's not like deadly if they eat a little bit, but over time it could be very deadly. A big no-no that is an instant death or instantly deadly for them is chocolate. It's very toxic for them. Chocolate is not good for them. Do not give them no chocolate cake, chocolate cupcakes, none of that. If you want to give your dog dessert, go to Publix or any Winn-Dixie or just any grocery store, and they have a dog ice cream. Like, they have it, I think it's paw something. Sorry that I don't know it. In the next video, I'll probably go into detail about certain snacks that you can give your dog. But I kind of want to get the most important stuff out the way. None of that. Furniture. I see a lot of people putting their, having their dogs in the bed with them, wanting to put them in the covers, because we look at our dog. I look at my dog as kind of like my son. I mean, I've raised him since he was a puppy, so there's a connection there. He's going on 6 years old this November. It's amazing. I feel like I've had him forever, It's very easy to get caught up in that, wanting to dress him up, and I mean, it's kind of like it's in us almost to do it. It's our nurturing side of humans to want to do that. But we also have to realize that these aren't children, these are animals. And dogs will quickly teach you that, Some dogs don't want to be dressed up. They don't want to have no suit and tie on them. They want to be just straight up, just like how they are. Some dogs don't even like dog beds. My dog sleeps comfortably on the floor. He loves the cold floor because he's a chow. And we live in Florida, so any coldness, we even keep the house cool for him. Because I care about him a lot. Anything that I do is I incorporate him into it because, he has feelings as well. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't want the house hot. He wants it cold. So that's why he doesn't really like dog beds. And chows love sleeping on the floor anyways, but sorry about that. Let me get back on topic. Dogs are very territorial animals. Wolves, very territorial. If you look up videos, they'll fight over bones. They'll fight over anything. So even videos, they'll like have full-on fights over bones. Especially the lower pack. The lower in the pack, they're always trying to get something. They usually get like the crumbs and stuff. It's actually, we learned something in high school when I was in 12th grade. We were talking about dogs and how they were domesticated, and it was very fascinating. We were having a discussion. How did we get wolves into dogs? And how did those wolves why did they want to be around us? Usually wild animals don't want to be around humans unless it's for food and stuff, So it's been a theory that the class and I was talking about on how the lower pack tend to want to be with humans because we give them food. And we give them food as a token to their loyalty. So it's an exchange. It's like the lower pack weren't getting enough food. We were the ones giving them our leftover bones and meat and stuff like that. But for that, they became loyal to us, and we used that loyalty. And there's another thing called selective breeding. We've bred these animals for our purpose. It's kind of like domesticated cows. Domesticated cows you're not going to, unless they've gotten loose or something, you're not going to find them in the wild. Domesticated cows were used for different products such as milk, meat. We even use the fat as like facial, I actually have a product over here, beef tallow, which is like a fat that you can use as like on you. Some people use it on them. Some people use it for their face. It's been tested to be pretty good. I wouldn't recommend using it every day. You can just try like facial moisturizer for that. But sorry, getting back on topic. When thinking or when getting a dog, it's all about going back to the roots. People don't think it's that complicated on getting a dog, but it really is. And I've seen a lot of people come up to me and they can't even control their dogs, or you'll have like, or I'll walk down the street with my dog, and somebody have a Doberman or a Siberian Husky, and they're pulling them. They're walking them. They're not walking their dog. The dog is walking them. Like, it's crazy, and I have to kind of pull my dog back because their dog will just come up, and I'm like, you can't just come up to a chow. Like, they're not that type of dog. Rose is already, that's my dog's name, he's already on defense. You know, he's a guard dog. That's it's in his nature. You know, it's in his nature to be, you know, on guard. I have to kind of tell him, you know, like, not tell him, but direct him. It's okay, like, but it's in his nature. It's something that you can try to train him out of or try to fight against it, but you have to just understand when your dog is not that type of dog. You know, he's not going out attacking other dogs though. He's not looking for that. If anything ever happens, it's usually the other dog, or he's gotten out on accident, which is rare for him, and he'll come right back, you know, because he knows where home is. So, like I was saying, letting them on the couch is a no-no. They can become dominant to that couch. You know, I've seen people that have let their dogs on couches, and when they try to get them off the couch, the dog will kind of growl at them, show teeth. That is not good. That's a negative, that's a no-no. Dogs showing teeth at you, growling, is a no-no. Especially if you're trying to get them off your couch. It's like, they don't understand that you bought that couch. That's not how their mindset is. They just know that there's a couch there. They don't even know it's a couch. They think it's a thing they can just get on. Or like it's a big dog bed or something, like, you know, and once you let them on that couch or the bed, they'll start to think that's their spot. So that's why Rose always sleeps on the floor and I sleep on the bed. It's not that he's you know, it's not that personal. It's, you have your spot to lay and I have my spot to lay. The next slide is stimulation. Stimulation is very important, especially for dogs that very intelligent. Stimulation can be from any of things. Children with autism can have stimulations, like when they're flickering their hands like this, or like playing with something like fidgeting toys. That's stimulation. It keeps them busy. It's, you know, even without it, they'll like do this, like without a toy. Exercise is another stimulation for them. It's very important. You do not want your dog to be obese. It's also good for their mental health. We've noticed, I've done research on it, but humans working out, the brain sends a signal of stress relief, and it's like, it's amazing, because like, I know a lot of people that work out, and even when I work out, I feel amazing. I feel like all my stress is gone. I'm just focused strictly on working out. It's kind of like that for dogs. They're gonna want to go to the dog park, or even if you don't have a dog park, you can just take them right outside and, you know, let them go out and play, and it's just good for them. It's good for their mental health, stress, improve moods. Chows can be very grumpy when not exercised, and you do not want a grumpy chow. Reduce risk of depression and anxiety. Bonding and socialization can also come with that. Another good thing is toys. Toys are very good for puppies. Physical stimulation. I've named some toys you could try. Puzzles, Kong toys, and treats. So Kong has a treat where you can put like ice cream. Of course not like Ben and Jerry's, but like you can put like dog ice cream in it. And the dog ice cream, it's like really, they love it. They go crazy for it. You shouldn't give it to them regularly, because it's kind of like, it's a treat. So even if you're eating Ben and Jerry's every day, you can start developing fat off of that. Well, it's the same thing with dogs. So if they've been a good boy and that's my dog, and they've been doing everything they've done and they're supposed to do, right after they come in from a good walk, they're nice and tired, they drunk like most of their water, you can give them a treat, and it'll be enrichment for them, because they'll have to work for that treat, not just scoop it in a bowl and they're gonna eat it in 1 minute, because dogs guzzle up food like it's nothing. Like, sometimes dogs don't even chew their food, they'll just like swallow it whole. Like, it's crazy. Improve mood, of course. Okay, so another thing about stimulation is what we see in a lot of, and this is kind of going on the veterinarian aspect of it. Stimulation is what we see a lot of intelligent animals do. Orcas, dolphins. Um, Orcas are dolphins, but bottlenose dolphins, or even like at SeaWorld, those animals are usually going pacing back and forth. Even at the zoo, when you see tigers pace back and forth, that's because they have no stimulation, and that can cause depression. Just like dogs, your dog shouldn't be pacing back and forth. That is a clear sign of depression, or it could be anxiety. Dogs have anxiety as well. I'll also be talking about some of the anxieties as well and how to deal with that anxiety. Um, Stimulation is a must. Dogs can get bored. I've seen dogs even bump their heads on things. Like, it can get to that point, and it's very sad. Um, the next slide, apartment or house. This is a very tricky one because I've seen people have big dogs in apartments, and those dogs look perfectly happy. They don't look sad. They don't look like they're miserable. They're active. They're in good shape. So how I would say is there's different dogs. There's different breeds for different apartments or different houses. Bulldogs, I would recommend you can keep them in the house, of course. That would be even better for them. Well, it depends. Bulldogs are lazy dogs anyway, so I don't think they're going to be exploring the house as much. But apartments would be nice for them. I've seen bulldogs in apartments. Um, what I would dogs I would recommend for houses: Doberman, Siberian Huskies. If you have a 2-bedroom apartment, I feel like a Siberian would. I feel like he would fit pretty good. I've seen Huskies in apartments, and like I said, they're not. They don't look depressed. The owners are being very nice to them, of course. I mean, they nicely fed. Not every owner is delusional, or they know what they're doing. Stimulation, of course, is very important. Like I said, it's very big. A lot of people don't understand it, or they take it very like unnecessary. But toys are very important. Even adults. My dog is sick. He's going on 6, and he still plays with toys like he's a puppy. Cause their mental is like a child. Like that's why they'll follow you around the house. You know, their mental is very like a puppy, and that's him right now. So what I was going on with the house and the apartment. Sorry, I got off topic. It's really up to you. That's really a tricky situation. Bigger dogs, I recommend houses. Florida apartments are very common here in Florida. I see more apartments than houses here, so it's just tricky. Not everybody can afford a house, and I don't think they should be. I don't think um they should be like kind of guilted for that. I've seen homeless people with dogs, and the dogs look happy. They're dogs really just want to be with their owners. But if I had to recommend good apartment dogs, chows are another good apartment dog. But I wouldn't recommend dogs. I wouldn't recommend chows as a first time dog owner. My first dog was actually my dog right now, Rose. He's a chow chow, and I've learned the hard way that these dogs are very stubborn. They need an owner that has experience. I've done the best I can, of course, and my dog is very well behaved. He's not aggressive. I have an autistic brother. He's very good with him. Sometimes I feel like he has autism. Dogs can pick up on those things. They're very intelligent. Another thing that I want to go over is price, or even adopting. In Florida, we've seen a lot of dogs and puppies that need adopting, and a lot of people say, no, don't go to a breeder, go adopt. My stance on this is, if you want to adopt, if you want to buy, you buy. I'm not into swaying people to make. It's your dog. It's whatever choice you want to make. The only thing that matters to me is you understand your dog, and you're being patient with your dog. A lot of people will sit up here and say, no, go out and adopt. There's so many dogs that they're putting down. And I agree. I agree. I get why they're saying it. Nobody wants to see a dog get put down, or it's very sad. Even when you see dogs getting picked up because they were in an abusive home, or even that incident. I don't know if you guys have kept up with that. But the hurricane that just passed, there was a dog that was tied up, and it was flooding, and that dog was almost, that dog could have died, but they got the dog in time, and that dog was chained up to something. That dog couldn't even run if he wanted to. So that's why I say it's a very tricky situation. Not dogs that you have to adopt, a lot of them have a story, and you have to be a special type of person to have to deal with that. A first-time dog owner isn't going to want to, not all of them are going to deal with that, and not all of them have the experience to deal with that. I've seen a lot of dogs in shelters that have had abusive stories where they don't even trust they don't trust humans no more, or they'll start shaking when they're coming to human contact. And if you don't know how to deal with that, you could be intruding into their space. Something that we learn in veterinarian science is that every predators and prey have a space, a barrier. We see it more in prey animals. Prey animals have a zone where if you come into that zone, it's a fight or flight situation. And what we've noticed is that predators can have that as well, especially scared dogs. Things that you would never want to do is corner a dog. Cornering a dog is very bad. You do not want to corner a dog. They can be aggressive. It don't matter if you're their owner; they can still attack. Dogs, is survival for them. They still have that mindset. Just because they're domesticated doesn't mean that they don't have that mindset anymore. So always be very mindful of that before you just go and even when I see people just picking up a dog, it's like, I would let a dog know if you're gonna pick them up, and usually letting them know is kind of like picking them up while they're still on the ground, holding them. It's kind of like how you hold a bunny, where people just pick bunnies up like this, but you want to have them on your heart so that they feel comfortable. You want to scoop them like that. A lot of people just pick bunnies up by their scruffle, or they'll just do that, and that is a horrible way to pick up bunnies, because you're basically putting them in that fight or flight situation. But back to dogs, of course. That's a separate video about bunnies and prey animals. Lastly is vet bills. I see a lot of people complain about vet bills, and one thing I would say is keep your dog healthy. I see a lot of people that have their dogs a little overweight. I'm not gonna lie. And my dog, he's a chow. Chows are already I would say medium built sized dogs, so they have a little weight to them. About 50, 50, 40, 60 ranges, it's in that range. All chows come in different shapes and sizes. So I would definitely recommend having your dog on a strict diet. Now, by diet, I don't mean depriving them from anything, because I still feed my dog, eggs, stuff that's good for them. That stuff is good for them. Not a lot though. Just like human, fruits are good, but you shouldn't be eating 10 apples or 20 apples a day. It's moderation. You should be eating about 2 apples, 3. 3 is okay, if you're working out, then that's fine. But everything is moderation. Even healthy food, you should eat in moderation. That teaches discipline. So With dogs, it's the same way. That's why I don't recommend human food. Human food is very fattening, high in calories for dogs. It might be good for baked chicken, might be good for us, but say baked chicken is also good for dogs. Like some baked chicken is good for dogs, of course, but a lot of it is not good because we put seasonings, we have it in fats. It's just different, and that's where kibbles and bits, how the old-fashioned people would say, kibbles and bits, that's where it kind of comes into play, because some brands are horrible at how they do their dog food, but a lot of brands have their dog food for a reason, because it might not have as much saturated fats, or it might not have as much sugar, or it might not have as much of something that human food does. So I would recommend feeding your dog twice a day. And a lot of people say, you should take your dog out for 30 minutes. I don't take my dog out for 30 minutes. I take my dog out for a good walk. I jog with him sometimes. He is a chow, so I keep that in mind. He's not going to be doing backflips or anything like a pit bull. But I jog. I put my AirPods in and I'll go jog with my dog for a little bit, not a lot. We live in Florida. It does get the heat. It's been pretty nice though lately. It's a little breeze, but it can get very hot here. And just a little bit down the street could tire my dog out, and that'll be good exercise for him. My dog is very healthy. I'll start incorporating him into videos, in later topics. I'll even do demonstrations on him. I want to go over certain veterinarian topics. I'll use my dog as he's gonna be my partner in crime basically. But yeah, basically just feed your dog twice. I would recommend twice a day. Even the big dogs, there's a different portion. So basically portion out your dog's food. Basically, it's kind of like how humans, if you want to lose weight, work out more and eat less calories. If you're trying to gain weight, eat more, work out less. So what I would say is, if you're taking your dog out and your dog is usually out of breath or he's tired, you've done your job. If sometimes my dog wants to come back inside the house, he's like, I need to come back in the shade. If your dog wants to come back in the house, then you're doing something right, because that you've pushed that dog to that limit to, all right, let's go back in the shade, or let's go back in the house in the air conditioning. If your dog still wants to go outside, then I would recommend taking him on another walk, or try dog parks are really good. Especially, I love to go to dog parks when there's nobody there. When I catch people at dog parks and there's nobody there, that is the best time of my life, because I don't have to worry about other people not training their dog. I don't have to worry about fights breaking out. Dogs can be so unpredictable at times. It's not like there's a script how they are, I mean, they don't just, it's like people expect their dogs to be like us. Our dogs aren't just going to walk past each other and say, oh, hey, what's up? Like, dogs, they're animals, so they can be having a bad day and they don't want to play. They want to just be by themselves. And another dog might come and say, oh, I want to play. And that dog can growl and be like, no, I want to be with myself right now. So dogs can just be like that, it's nothing personal, it's just how they are. Even dog fights, like, dogs don't take nothing personal. Dogs can fight and then want to play right after. Like, dogs usually don't have any grudges. Like, people think it's usually the owners that take things personal. Dogs are just doing what dogs do. If they're going to get in a fight, they're just going to get in a fight. Now, when it becomes a problem is if that dog is trying to kill another dog, or even if there's blood being drawn. But usually there is sometimes, because they're biting. So if there is a little scruffle, they're usually using their teeth more than their paws, or, because they're not. We fight usually with our fists. They fight more with their teeth. The last thing I would recommend is doing research. I didn't name a lot of dogs here because I wanted I wanted to go more into I just wanted to go more into what to look for in your first dog. And don't worry, I'll go over behavior training. This is just an introduction video. This is like a test video basically. Like, I'll have part 2, part 3. I'll have different videos. I'll do it even on cats. I'll go from cats, guinea pigs to mice, just so people can have a better understanding. Reptiles, another favorite type of animal. I love reptiles. They're also amazing pets to have for certain people. If you're looking for something cuddly and one to sleep by you, dogs I recommend. If you want something that is gonna love you in its own way, because reptiles aren't cuddly and want to sleep in the bed. They want to go back in their tank or their enclosure. Sorry. Then I'd recommend reptiles if you want love from a distance or love in their own way. Or not even love, just they tolerate you. But that's the end of this video. This isn't the end. I'll be definitely going over more topics. I have way more topics to go over. This was just an introduction. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, subscribe, of course. Comment what you guys would like to see. I'll take recommendations. I'll do more slides like this. I love this slide process because I'm more organized. Because sometimes I can talk and I can just, like, I have so much information I want to share and I can just go all over the place. But with the slides, I can kind of get more on topic, you know. But yeah, this is the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed and thank you. Have a good day and God loves you.